just freaking tired. It's actually kind of like late at night right now. Looking for my phone right now. It is 1:30 a.m. And today I just wanted to talk about the Division 1.4 notes and the notes I kind of have on him. About him, cannot think right now. The thing I have about it right now is there's a lot going on, and in my opinion, it's insane. It's great. I like it. So there are a lot of buffs and debuffs for certain weaponry, and of course, what's it called? Certain things. For example, um, Alpha Bridge 3 piece. One of my favorite builds. Its current 3 piece is that if I run 3 pieces, I get 300. No, 100. I'm really tired. 100% health regen. Here's the thing. In 1.4, they're replacing the 2 piece bonus. So instead of getting the 2 more medkits, I instead get the what's it called? I instead get 100. No, 100. I'm so sleepy right now. Sorry. Instead, I will get a benefit of blah. I can't think. I will get the benefit of 5% more damage with my weaponry. Which makes sense because I will run through ammo pretty fast because I have to have 2 weapons in the same category. So here's the thing about it. Coming down to the new gear set, well, it's not really new. The thing about it is they're kind of remaking it. The blind gear set, it's actually now known as the Banshee gear set, and the thing is, it's insanely awesome. I personally would not use it because I'm a huge fan of Alpha Bridge. Alpha Bridge has been part of my life, but of course I do recommend it for anyone out there because you not only have movement speed, which we're not really sure about because it's kind of hard to explain. PC players, we have much more of a better RAM, so for us, it's not that much of a big of a deal because as we run throughout the map, it's almost like popping blue ult. That's how fast it is. Your movement speed will be that much of an increase. So as you go throughout the map, for you, if you're a PC player, it's no big deal. It's all good. But if you're a player on a console, it's going to be different only because, it's not going to really render through in time, so it might crash your game and cause a lot more other problems. But I wanted to move on to the other things. Sentry, oh my gosh, I got a debuff. I'm actually kind of happy about that because a lot of people have been using it and shoving it in all of our faces. I'm still scared about that. But, oh, 12% weapon damage, sorry. But, like, the thing about it now is, like, when it comes to it now, instead of, like, the whole entire marking them with Sentry, you don't get the whole entire, all the benefits. Now it's more of, what was it, accuracy or just stability for certain pieces of the set. There's no more headshot damage of it. You still mark targets, however, it is not as powerful as it was. This time, it's a lot more lenient, and it's a lot better for the people who really, really got one-shotted by them. Me. So the other gear set, Striker, also got debuffed, so you don't really have the 5 piece Striker anymore. That a lot of people will miss that. It's actually kind of underrated in my opinion. A lot of people use it, but then again, a lot of people didn't use it. It kind of like had a good roll out in the community. A lot of people just denied it, but it had its really good benefits. Another thing I would like to point out is, of course, it kept its same 4 piece bonus, where every time you do damage to an enemy, it's going to increase your, yeah, it's really just going to increase your DPS. The next one I wanted to talk about was, what was it? It was, I don't think Predator's mark got much. They didn't really change much about it. They did change a few things, but they they didn't really do much. The next one to talk about is Firecrest. Firecrest instead is now a little bit more better because with the 3 piece set, instead of having that full on 100% reload speed, they changed it to where, thank you for that comment by the way, they changed it to where you have 50% more damage towards your turret for fire turrets, And a lot of people have been going along calling those Charmanders, which I find is the cutest thing ever. But the four-piece bonus set now is you start to do extra damage to those who are on fire, which I find is really good. It's almost like marking them with Sentry. Um, Anything else from that? I would like to say Hunter's Faith got debuffed. However, the four-piece bonus, instead of giving you the extra armor benefit, it gives the extra armor benefit to the whole entire team, which, in my personal opinion, I find that amazing, guys. I just really find that amazing. I'm gonna read the comments right now. I'm not really sure if I'm missing everything. However, maybe like what other gear sets was out there that was like so underrated? Uh, read the comments. Like, yeah, thank you for commenting, man. Um, I'm not really sure what else was there that really benefited. Now, the other things that ended up changing was there were the small tweaks they had to the SMGs, and the reason I say this is small is because they could compensate for this, however. So they lowered the damage, not the base damage, the critical hit damage on there. So if you have like an MP7 like I do, you would have a critical hit damage of maybe 36% or like 44% like this one. Well, they kind of did debuff the damage like that, and I was kind of infuriated by it. However, they did compensate for it by giving certain weapons certain buffs. For example, the AUG has a 12.5 percentile buff. Do not look at this stuff right here because this is 1.3. I'm just trying to streaming over this right now. But they did debuff that. And they also increased the base damage of them, which I do kind of like because it does like kind of reflect on how people will pretty much play in effectiveness from now on. Because if the base damage is increased, that shows a little bit more of a damage output when it comes to like SMG builds, especially if you're running SMG Alpha Bridge. It's gonna hit a lot. It's gonna hit a lot harder. And Reckless chest piece. I do not have my own Reckless chest piece. I've been trying to grind for one all day. I've been getting a few Alpha Bridges set, getting ready for this. However, yeah, it's basically it's gonna screw you over, guys. I do not recommend it whatsoever. Reason I do not is because okay, you have a reckless chess piece. Now take that reckless chess piece and say that you're about to mark yourself 3 times with Sentry. That's what it basically is. It is going to screw you over in the most horrible way because it has been downgraded, guys. It's been downgraded towards 8% tile damage towards yourself, and it also gives the enemy 15% more damage towards you. Translation, you're basically giving yourself a 3 to a 5 mark by Sentry, asking to be one-shot at everyone. You're just asking for that. Other things I would like to bring up is Savage Gloves. They aren't as powerful. In fact, well, right now they are 14% increased critical hit chance to enemies who are out of cover. Now I think it is between 4 to 8%. Not the greatest. And the last thing I kind of want to discuss, I'm not sure if this is the last thing. Actually, there's a few more things, but the last, really tired. One of the things next to the last thing are talents. Deadly, that has been debuffed. It was 28%. It is now as low as around 12 and below percent. Yes, guys, Deadly, one of the most powerful besides Brutal. Oh yeah, Brutal. That also got debuffed too. That's it's just they just brung those down. Just hearing that, I kind of like died in the inside because those really powerful. But they're making the game a little bit balanced, and it's starting to feel like the days before 1.3 where everything did begin to screw us over. Other than that, I would say like the new talents now would be stuff that correspond with getting stuff when it comes to skill power, because skill power is kind of needed. In there, of course, there's skill of diminishing, which is what I recommend of 700k, no, 70k, sorry for my speaking, 70k skill power. Because you will see in the future in the update that we are going to have no longer the 75 percentile max of mitigation against weapon damage. Instead, you could run maybe 11k armor, you're still not going to be at the max. So the thing about it is your items and gear sets, etc., are going to focus like this. Everything's the same. However, in your holster and in your backpack, you're going to be able to put performance mods in both. The thing about it is that your performance mods will only be allowed to access within your book bag, which is two of them, and one in your holster. So everything's the same, except the armor is gonna be increased. So you see how I'm running 1k armor on my chest plates? Well, you could go up to 2 like 2.8. Yeah, 2 like 2800 something. That's the highest armor I've seen so far in 1.4. So it's yeah, it's just around there I would say. The next thing I wanted to say is like they're focusing on certain attributes now. You don't have to use the Lone Star to get much ammo, as like you had to back then. It actually gives you a fair decent amount of ammo that you can hold on to, which I am pretty proud about that. But again, I do recommend using 700, yeah, 70k skill power, and of course you have skill haste or anything that helps too. But a lot of things are going to focus around armor revolvement if you do want to access the higher brackets. And speaking of the higher brackets, it's not really brackets anymore, it's categorized by tier. So you can only unlock the tier by how much armor you are rolling. And the armor you're rolling is, of course, mostly categorized by the gear sets you're running. And the thing about the gear sets is they are bringing it down. There will be no more 268, no more 240. Instead, we will all run at a 229 high max gear set. When I seen that, I was wondering what was going on, what was the point of this. However, I kind of get it. It kind of balances everything out. So, if you have like all this stuff that balances out, like I'd say the most second OP thing right now when it comes to that update, besides Alpha Bridge, which I side with the most because I love Alpha Bridge, which most people might argue with Banshee, is Tacticious gloves. No, not gloves. Tacticious mask. The only reason being because it helps you in your skill power and also have the attribute of being a high end that helps you gain benefits of skill power. So your healing comes a little bit more faster because here's the thing about 1.4. Your skills are going to come a lot slower than they are now. And a lot of the reasons it's going to come slower is because of course they did monetize that, not monetize, but you know what I mean. They kind of like brung that down. Thing is, triage, you can only go through it once. Don't be constant running through heals. Only go through it once to get that little bit of a buff of 15%. After that, they change a lot of talents, and I'm just amazed by it. Like, I don't think these challenges would ever change. One is none does not work as good as it used to be with shotguns. Usually because it counts by every pelt. You could keep on headshotting people for on and on and on. You will keep that same 5 bullets in your chamber. That is how powerful it was. This right here, one is nine, doesn't work like that with shotguns anymore. It works by spray, and it's random now. It's random. And of course, I cannot forget about all the things that 1.3 had like showed us, reflected upon us. And now like seeing 1.4 coming in, I feel like it's a really good change. It brings us a huge new perspective on like how the division could be ran. I feel like when it comes to 1.4, they're actually trying to bring their players back in because in a game like this, it's not really being advertised because it's already been a while. Not many people like want to play anymore, but this is an attempt. This is a try to get the people back. A lot of people have noticed the flaws, they complain about the flaws, and they are trying to bring you guys back into it. So I definitely recommend you guys go back into it. I basically do not think I have anything else to discuss about the gear sets, talents, armor, tiers within the dark zone. Other than that, I would possibly say some of the new things is you see how if your character is like leveling up, you see them as a level 30 for the max and the real world status before they go into the dark zone. Well, the thing is, so of course you're at that max. Now, since you've reached that max, you're able to get caches, and those things are battlefield caches. So as long as you start doing things that give you XP for that category, you're eligible to get XP catches. So once you get those, unlock them, it'll give you certain weaponry and of course armors. And also, I can't really forget about this. This is actually what I found really awesome. Dark Zone funds have a huge meaning, and the thing about Dark Zone funds is you could head into the Dark Zone. The vendors have really good selling things. You know, they could sell you weapons, modifications, actually real good stuff. They could sell you DZ caches too, and I was really amazed by that. DZ caches, just buy thousands of those and just actually help yourself like get that benefit. I just really find that amazing, guys. So I really hope you guys really enjoyed this because I have nothing else to discuss. I think I ran over all the topics. I think I ran over all of the things. If you missed part of it, of course you can rewind the video. I'm not gonna really go through all of it over again because that was terrible to just like go through. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed. I love you all. I'm really tired because it is 1:54 a.m. Central Standard Time. You know what that means, guys? It means I love you, Icarus, and I am out. Peace. I mean pepperoni.